What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to episode 12 of season 2 of Hit the Books. We're all excited to be back for another week of picking plays and giving advice on all things sports betting. So let's jump into our rundown for this week. NFL's on the slate as usual, week 10 here and ready for us. College football as well. We got a great episode for you. So let's jump in with introducing my co-hosts, Huff and Mackie. Here with me now, Ace joining us in a bit. Let's introduce them. Mackie, you're up pretty good this week, leading the pack 7-4-1 last week in the NFL, plus 4.75 units. Great week for you, buddy. What's happening?
Yeah, finally back on track in the win column for the NFL slate. Yeah, I fell off for a little there, but almost a five unit week is pretty good. I can't complain about that. Just keeping it coming, and yeah, I'm just getting hot again. So stick with me here.
Love it, dude. Let's do it. Keep it up. Huff, just barely positive, but you can't be upset with the positive week. What's going on? Plus 0.75 units for you. 3-2 on the week. What's going on? You ready for week 10?
Yeah, what's going on? Happy to be back. It's week 10, you said?
Yes, sir.
I keep forgetting that, but that's crazy to think we're this far into the NFL season already. But
It's disgusting to think about.
yeah, so but yeah, like you said, 3-2. Only went with 5 plays last week. Obviously, like you said, anytime you're positive, winning weekend, you can't really complain about that. But I was just telling Mackie before we started recording, that Thursday night half-point under is just haunting me. You guys each had like 4 pushes combined, I think, this weekend. I'm still the only one that doesn't have a push on the card. That's pretty crazy in my opinion. And
I
think Ace had 2 this weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Huff,
Ace
you're
did
right.
have
Four pushes total. 2 for Ace, 1 for myself, 1 for Mackie.
What'd you guys all push on?
I pushed. You got 45.5. I got 46 in that total.
Yeah, fuck that.
Jeez.
Yeah, you got a line shot, buddy.
I know. You live and you learn. Like I said, positive weekend. I'm not going to complain. I'm not really in the position where I can keep having negative, so I want to try to be positive.
You're inching back, dude. What are you at?
Yeah.
You gotta be under. You gotta be in.
I'm under 10 again.
Yeah. So
I had like a bad week. I've been having pretty good, but last weekend, I forget who fucked me last weekend late. It was the Rams. It was my 4 o'clock slate. It was the Rams. Who was the other one? Giants plus 3, I think, at Seattle. I think those were the 2 that killed me last week. And then this week, Arizona killed me against Seattle.
Yeah, why were you guys all on Arizona? I was very confused by that. I found the chance to get Seattle when they were down like 10-7 or something, and I jumped on that right away.
I don't know, dude. I keep thinking they're going to win at home. And they suck.
Yeah, I don't know. They just don't got it. Geno Smith is him, too.
Yeah, he has been hot, obviously, throughout the entire season. But like you said, winning weekend, never going to complain. Mackie, you said inching back.
You see that Bucs game?
Yeah, Monday night? Or Sunday night?
He was pissed. He was like, we get a huge stop, and they got to ask us to get another huge stop right after that. He was like...
Yeah, he was like calling out the offense.
To do. Yeah, basically. But, like, it's true. You got to stop with... It's a 2-minute warning, I think it was. And
yeah.
You let them come back down, and, you know, Tom Brady did what Tom Brady does, so that's pretty cool. I had them 2-unit play, and then I had the under, so that was a nice 4 o'clock slate for me.
Yeah, that was a big one for you.
Lots of good stuff out of week 9 for Mackie and Huff. Can't say the same for Ace and myself. Ace going 4-7-2, minus 2.45 units, and myself going 1-4-1, down 3.28 units.
Jesse,
very upset with my performance last week. What's that, Mackie?
I think this is your worst week to date. You've been pretty consistent with the sticking around even or plus.
He's been going like 3-1, 4-2 the past like 3 weeks.
I don't think he's ever had a week this year that he's been like under like 1 unit.
No, I think you're right. So I've never seen my name that low on the list. It's kind of disappointing.
Sorry, you bounced back.
You had like Mackie the past couple weeks, he cooled off a little bit.
I had a few.
You're up the units, you can afford it.
You just need a little humbling. You're right back in it.
Yeah, true that. All right, boys, let's jump into some college football while we're ready. What do we got? Action tonight. It's a Wednesday night here as we're recording. Lots of good stuff there. Bowling Green in Kent State, Buffalo and Central Michigan.
This won't be released till tomorrow, but Buffalo money line. You heard it here first. Just some credibility plays for now.
What is that? What is that spread?
Kent State -2.
Buffalo.
Yeah, that's the Bowling Green game. Buffalo's plus 2.5. The money line plus 118. That's not bad. I don't really know much about these teams. I would take. I like that. I don't know. I like that.
Let's
Central
talk
Michigan.
Let's talk about Georgia Tennessee.
I want to talk about a couple of the games that happened last week. Obviously, we had a couple big upsets last week. Not necessarily upsets, but the bigger game of the week was the Georgia Tennessee. I know I was listening to the episode last week before I got on when you guys were talking about college football, and you were talking about how I was texting you. Me and you were texting back and forth about how I said they put Tennessee at the 1 so they could go to Georgia and lose. Now, obviously, we get the rankings this week, and they're sitting at 5. They obviously still have a shot to get back in it, but I don't really like their chances. But Georgia obviously handled them pretty well. I don't know what the final score was, but I know Georgia covered that 10-point spread. I was rooting for you to kind of get a backdoor on that because obviously I said I had Georgia in a teaser.
27-13.
That was all planned.
Point game.
Tennessee being in that position.
Yeah, but even so, Huff, why don't you like Tennessee to be back in? I mean, I can almost guarantee that one of the top 4 teams are going to lose another game, and Tennessee's hopping right into the second they do. Unless
agree.
You have them losing in the SEC championship game.
And who would that be against? I never remember who's on what side of the brackets in these divisions.
It'll probably...
or in these conferences.
I think Georgia.
That's tough. I just like Georgia.
That is tough to say.
Yeah, Georgia. I mean, that game was a 14-point game last week, but it definitely, like, the skill level.
It felt worse than a 14-point game.
14-point game. I mean, Georgia was never in jeopardy of even being close to losing that game. So
yeah,
I mean, they had complete control of the entire game. They did whatever they wanted to do. Big play after big play on offense, and obviously their defense stellar as always. So, I mean, Georgia even surprised me this week. I had Tennessee spread. I kind of thought they were going to win that game outright, but even after the first 2 drives, I was like, this game's they're just two different complete levels of football.
Yeah, and then the other game this past weekend that obviously was the top one was Saturday night. We had number 6 Alabama going down to LSU and losing to number 10 LSU 32-31, a crazy decision. I guess it was a bold decision to go for it for 2 in overtime by Brian Kelly. They were down 31-30, and he went for the win on the goal line. Jalen Daniels, a quarterback for LSU, had a pretty sick touchdown pass to win it, and then the 2-point conversion went straight back to the same tight end. They stormed the field. That was obviously a big upset. Alabama, I saw a stat today. They were like, this is the first time that they'll be playing a game with statistically, like, without a chance to make it to the national championship, or like under a certain percentage of a chance to make it to the national championship since like 2010 or since Nick Saban got there. So Alabama obviously on a down year, but they still have the talent, I think, to shake things up. But I don't necessarily know who they have to play the rest of the year. But I was definitely rooting for LSU in that one. I had LSU in a teaser with Georgia, and sadly in Wake Forest, and they did not cover for me. So lost that one. But I liked LSU. I was rooting for LSU in that game, and I wanted to live bet the money line. Ended up not doing it, but I wish I did. Did you watch that game, Mackie?
Yeah, I had I had LSU plus 6.5, and then I got them at plus 4.5. Live bet in the third or fourth quarter. So when I went into overtime, I was like, I'm gonna fucking lose both of these fucking bets because
I get so scared to live bet a spread like that when it's like a live plus 3.5 or a live plus 4.5.
It's
even
so easy to lose, dude.
But knowing when the original spread was 13 or 14, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was 14.
Yeah, because I had him in my teaser plus 24. It was crazy.
Yeah, that was lit. But yeah, I was gonna take a money line too, and I just pussied out, and
we should have did it.
Yeah, definitely.
Alrighty, let's wrap up our college football here. Ace is here to join us. Ace, your Week 9 record coming in at 4-7-2, down 2.45 units. What do you got for us this week coming into Week 10?
Yeah, tough week. Sunday really hit me hard. Had a 2-unit play. The Cardinals really burnt our whole team there. That kind of changed the whole trajectory of my week. Picked it up on the Monday night slot, which was nice, with a 2-unit play on the Ravens. Had a nice 2-0 night on Thursday Night Football. So like I said, really got to hunker down on those Sundays and lock in more with a big slate. Really crushing the primetime games but getting killed on Sunday. So I really got to lock in, maybe connect with the boys a little bit sooner. But definitely looking to continue my trend of a better second half to my season. I mean, obviously lower units this week than the past few weeks, but with 4 hits on the week, we're still here. We're ready to roll. Got a nice week on tap here in the NFL. Yeah, happy to be here. Happy to talk another week with the boys.
Awesome, Ace. We're happy to have you. Lots of good stuff out of the NFL. And I think that's what we're going to jump to next. Teams with bye weeks this week are the Ravens, Bengals, Jets, and Patriots. So let's just jump into our games for this week. Some trends I got overall for the week are favorites are 80, 51, and 1 straight up, but underdogs are 74, 53, and 6 against the spread, coming in at 58.3%. Unders are 78 and 55 and 2, coming in at 58.6%, and primetime unders are now 16, 10, and 1, coming in at 61.5%. So some interesting statistics there coming into Week 10 through the first 9 weeks of the NFL. Let's jump into our Thursday night football game, the Atlanta Falcons at the Carolina Panthers. I think this is going to be an interesting one. The Falcons are the favorite here at -3. Their money line sitting at -152, and the over-under sitting at 42.5. The trend I got for this one is Atlanta is 5-1 straight up and against the spread in their last 6 games when playing on the road against the Panthers. Will Baker Mayfield, I don't want to say that.
PJ Walker.
Yeah, I knew it was
No, I think it is
starting
Baker.
again. No, PJ Walker is starting this game.
PJ's
Oh
going
my
to start
God,
and Baker's going to
bro.
come in.
All right,
What
lots
is
of stuff
going
here.
on with these
Is it
bums?
Baker? Is it PJ? Huff says PJ. Huff, what do you got for us in this Thursday night football matchup?
I don't know. This is a tough game. Obviously, this is the typical Thursday night game when everyone talks about we get shitty Thursday night games. They give us Falcons, Panthers. NFC South, one of the worst divisions in football matchup we got. Panthers getting 3 points on their home field. Obviously, we know the state of the Panthers team right now. They're in a rebuild. We were talking about, is it going to be P.J. Walker? Is it going to be Baker Mayfield? I don't even think they really know, but I don't know. Something about this Falcons team, they just last week putting up a pretty good game at home against a Chargers team that's on the up and coming. I guess you could keep saying, everyone keeps saying it's their year, but they never achieve up to their standards or what people set their standards to be. But the Falcons losing by 3 last week on their home field to the Chargers. I don't know. I just don't love the Falcons -3 in this spot in Carolina on Thursday night. I don't know. I feel like the primetime unders, 42.5. Obviously, be looking at my first half. I feel like it's going to be set at like 20 for this game. I really like that, but I don't know how you guys are leaning, but I'm going to look up what that first half under is. Mackie, how are you leaning on this game?
Ace, you got something to say? You were raising your hand.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, Mackie, I wonder if you're going to roll with the Panthers again. This is like a rematch of the game the worst game to bet on of all time 2 weeks ago, the way the Panthers handled the end of that. So I'm eager to hear what you have to say.
Panthers are on the no bet list ever again. Just even though they won 2 weeks ago, they covered that +4. Oh no, I actually had the money line, so fuck them. Yeah, they're on the no bet list. That being said, I do kind of like I do like the Falcons in this game. I know Falcons are a little worse of a team on the road. They're only 1-3 on the road, opposed to 3-4 at home. So they're a little better at home. But I just think the Panthers are just brutal, and from the beginning of the year they just have underachieved the entire time. P.J. Walker looked awful last week. They took him out, put Baker in. I don't know why they're starting him again this week. They're clearly in rebuild mode. They don't really have much going for them. They obviously got rid of Christian McCaffrey, so Dante Foreman's taking a big workload in that backfield. But I don't think they have much going for them. I think the Falcons they're fighting for a division right now, and they have a good chance of actually making a push for it. So I think they take care of business here in a divisional rival.
Yeah, no, that you definitely hit the nail on the head. This Panthers team, such a weird team to bet on. Just the games they play. I mean, we've all missed on them at some point during the season. I think it was Huff and Jesse week 1, me in week 2, and now Mackie a few weeks ago. So we've all really been burnt by a team that had some high expectations coming into the year after the acquisition of Baker Mayfield. But now that they've all floated Christian McCaffrey, it's a completely different team. But one thing that really stands out to me for the Panthers always, though, and it's pretty consistent, is that defense. They have a lot of names on that defense, pretty young too, led by Brian Burns, right? Some young guys in the secondary with a lot of speed too. I know Huff likes those young corners. But on the other side of the...
I like that Burns guy that you were talking about. I was texting Mackie about him a couple weeks ago when he had the Panthers in that game.
He's
like
a TJ Watt type play. Obviously not at the same caliber, but like a tier or two down. He's one of those players that will take over the game. I think he's potentially the best player on the field this Thursday between either team.
I think so, yeah. Him, I like J.C. Horn a lot for the Panthers too.
If the Panthers end up winning this game, it'll remind me of the way the Patriots win the game, where Burns has like a Judon-esque game where he just controls the whole thing, doesn't let Mariota do anything. But at the same time, I'm really leaning towards that Falcons money line. You guys have been on the train all year. I know they're covering left and right, and they're really in the hunt. I think they do win this game, and they set up a pivotal matchup with the Bucs down the stretch for that division. A big divisional game, right? So you know that the Falcons do want to win this one if they do have a hope of making the playoffs. The Panthers at the same time aren't even out of it, but that division, everybody's saying at 4-5. It's crazy. But at the same time, I love those primetime props. So Cordarrelle Patterson, he's been popping ever since he's come back in, even before he was hurt. So I'd be looking at his touchdown, but be wary of Brian Burns in that defense, like I said.
I like that Patterson anytime TD.
He gets the ball a lot.
Yeah. I have him in fantasy. He's been hurt, like you said, the past couple of weeks. I just looked at it. That first half under set at 20.5. That's definitely going to be something I'm looking at in case the Panthers start slow. That's something I'm more comfortable taking than side in this game. So I'll be looking for that tomorrow night on the card, as we obviously definitely always have picks for these primetime games. But a shitty game. I think all of us are going to say if this was a Sunday game, most of us would be staying away from this. But yeah, we got to talk about it. So let's get into some of these Sunday games.
Huff, it's like I said to you the other day, though. These games, Thursday night primetime games. That's why we're here. We're here to help you find the best picks.
Yeah,
and get some
exactly.
action and get into that game.
I do like that actually.
It's true. People are always looking for what's next. Thursday night games are hard to predict, especially low scoring, weaker teams.
Yeah, like the average NFL fan isn't watching a Panthers game unless it's in primetime.
Correct. So I feel like we'll see a lot of the ball to Cordarrelle Patterson, Drake London. Don't be surprised if they try to scheme it to Pitts a little bit in the primetime as well. But short week.
Dude, they just refuse to use him.
Yeah, refuse.
He's just not there.
Yeah,
he's dropping balls left and right. What are you guys talking about?
I was gonna say, and he's just not that good.
Mariota too. As a passer, not a fan, but I do like the running game that he brings and the scheme that they run on offense. They have like a 3-headed snake in the backfield. No big names, but it's Patterson, Algier, and they have the other guy. Who's the third running back out of Atlanta? You guys know?
I forget his name. Huntley.
He's been Caleb Huntley.
Yeah, Caleb Huntley.
Isn't that the backup quarterback for the Ravens?
No, let me look it up right now. Because he's
what's his name?
They've been rotating. That's Tyler Huntley.
Tyler Huntley.
Tyler Huntley, also from South Florida, like Lamar. I always thought he was going to leave Baltimore.
He should. When they don't pay Lamar, that's gonna be his team.
Yeah, Caleb Huntley. He's the rookie running back. He's actually been popping pretty much. He had 34 yards. He had 7 rushes for 34 yards last week. Considering Algier had 6 carries for he had a big day too. He had over 50. And then Patterson had a big day. They like to pound the rock, and that's winning football. I'm gonna ride the Falcons at home this week.
Alrighty, boys, good stuff out of that Thursday night football game. Let's jump into the Sunday games. The first game out of Munich, Germany, the Seattle Seahawks at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In this matchup, the Bucs are our favorite at -3. Their money line sitting at -154, and the total sitting at 44.5. The only trend I got for this one is Seattle is 5-1 straight up and against the spread in their last 6. Nothing else to say about this game in my world. Ace, you want to start us off with this one? What do you think?
Definitely. I actually think it's a crazy line. Let's think back to the beginning of the season. In the offseason, you saw Seahawks Patriots on the schedule. I'm not Patriots. I think Tom Brady. I think the Patriots. Seahawks, Bucks on the schedule. You got to think they're gonna be. That's a 10.5 point game, right? Like at least the spread's coming out in Tampa with that full team, that roster.
It's in Germany.
It's in Germany.
It's in Germany. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't even know that. I thought they were done with those for this year.
9:30 a.m.
That's why it's a 3-point spread.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense. At the same time, though, I like the more experienced veteran team that's won a Super Bowl and is led by the guy who's done it a lot of times. Yeah, I'm going to keep writing off Geno. It's terrible. I did it last week again on a 2-unit play. He came back to haunt me, but I'm going to take the Bucks -3 definitely. Probably going to see that in my card, honestly. I think the way that Brady got back into the game, you saw vintage Brady on that last drive. He was struggling all day. But against a good Rams defense at the same time. I mean, we've seen this before. Brady's getting written off. He starts to play great. He gets written off a little bit, like to quote Geno Smith. And then he grabs a win, and he starts to build some momentum off of that. So I think that he's going to really get sparked off that game-winning drive. Mackie, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, I'm definitely on the same page as you in this game. I mean, when you think about it on the global scale, Tom Brady's going across the world to play football. He's gonna do what Tom Brady does, and he's gonna get I think he's gonna get a win against Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, this team has overachieved greatly this year. I'm sure a ton of the money will be on Seattle as well, as they've proved that they're not really frauds this year. They're probably gonna come out on top of the NFC West, in my opinion. But I just think with this game being played over in Germany, Tom Brady's gonna lock it in. Slower game when Seattle's used to a faster paced game. I think Tampa's gonna slow the game down a little and let Tom Brady play the game he wants to play, and I think he'll be able to cover a 3-point spread here in a lower scoring matchup. I'll definitely have a few plays in this game. I'm definitely leaning under, and I'm leaning Tampa -3.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I like the Bucks -3, and the one thing that surprised me whenever I was looking at some of the stuff for this game, Seattle's getting 66% of the money for this on the spread for the +3. Obviously, Seattle's been surprising a lot of people. I think most people throughout the entire season. And Ace, like you said, we wrote off Geno most of the year. I keep fading them, and in my opinion, I think it's too late for me to jump on the Seahawks train and take them in a Germany game against, like you said, Tom Brady. Guys, looking last week, a low-scoring game. He gets the job done with a couple minutes left. How many times have we seen Brady do that? Mackie, I also like your opinion on the under. This is another game I'll probably be looking at my first half under. I like when these games start slow and pick up in the second half, and I don't have to really worry about the scoring. I can just worry about who's going to win. I like Bucks -3, and I like the first half under if it's sitting around 21.5.
Might be our first team play in a while there. Bucks -3. We're all on the same page, it seems like.
I think you're right.
I was surprised to see that much on Seattle, the money, and I just think a lot of people are like starting to be like, okay, I have to take the Seahawks seriously. It's like, I don't think this is going to last forever.
What was the percentage again? I missed that.
66.
That's craziness.
But dude, I mean, like, I'm way more comfortable betting on the Seattle Seahawks than I am the Giants.
Yeah, but the Seahawks are now that team. I think a lot of people are off the Seahawks or off the Giants.
I don't think the Seahawks are fakes, though, in my opinion. I think that team's actually good.
No, I think Kenneth Walker is a stud. He's the offensive rookie of the year, in my opinion.
Besides Kenneth Walker, you know who else? Well, we can get to that later, but I think it's Dameon Pierce. But that's a good.
Aren't they on a bye week?
I think Dameon Pierce is the offensive rookie of the year as well. But I mean, Kenneth Walker's doing his best to make a case for himself. I mean,
yeah, in a
he's
short
definitely
period
right there
of time
behind him.
If the Seahawks win their division, Kenneth Walker is going to get it.
I just don't think I don't know. Kenneth Walker came in. What did he come in like week 5, week 6? He didn't really.
Yeah, and I feel like he has the same number.
He gets 2 touchdowns a week and he puts up over 100 though.
That's what I mean. I feel like he has the same numbers.
I don't know. I think.
But Dameon Pierce has been doing the same thing for longer.
Exactly.
He's a bell cow on a bad offense.
No, I'm with Ace on this one. I really like Dameon Pierce.
At the other, you know what else helps him too is Geno Smith. He doesn't run as much as like a Kyler Murray, but he has the mobility. Like he has good enough mobility to move when he needs to. He made those big plays. We saw that last week. That was a great game. Came down the wire. Obviously, we were on the wrong end of it, Huff, but that was a great game to watch. Cardinals love playing. They only play real football in the last like 3 minutes of the game. When there's just enough time to have like a glimmer of hope, they get a touchdown, come within a score, and then they can't come up with a stop or they
Dude,
can't get the clutch field goal.
At what point do they fire Kingsbury?
They just
It's
signed
not
Murray.
him, bro. Get rid of you. Shouldn't sign Kyler Murray. Dude, he is so hard to watch play football. I don't know how you could bet on him. I will never bet on the Cardinals.
That's how the NFL works. You pay the player that you think is going to put asses in the seats and sell jerseys and bring money to your team, and the coaches are disposable at this point.
Well, no, Kingsbury's guy is Murray though. If they're both there, they're both there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how long it's gonna last. I don't really have much success.
They're 3-6. They just aren't good over the past couple of years.
6 and
that division's wide open. This would have been a perfect year for them to step in and take that division.
You know what's pretty underwhelming though is like just everything on that team besides DeAndre Hopkins. Zach Ertz actually looks good too if you watch. I think Ertz and Hopkins are the only playmakers. But yeah, I'm leaning Bucks here heavy. I think Brady is he's gonna come off that, ride that streak. You know, he just had a Brady moment. He's got to be feeling it. And everybody thinks Geno Smith's gonna beat him. How many times has he beaten Geno Smith in his career? I know he lost to him once. Oh no, he didn't. He lost to Mark Sanchez in the playoffs. So I don't even know if he's ever lost to Geno Smith.
Geno's against the spread stat is just insane.
Yeah, but I like to say ride the streak, but like you said before, like I'm not hopping on the Seahawks train now. I think it's blown up.
That's my thing. I think it's too late.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Just that defense alone and the potential of Brady in that offense. Too many weapons. Too good of a team for the Seahawks. They haven't played a big team like that yet.
Good stuff. That game happening at 9:30 a.m. Eastern in Munich, Germany. Good stuff there, boys. Let's jump into the 1 o'clock games. The first one up is the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Kansas City Chiefs. This week, the Chiefs are the favorite at -9.5. Their money line sitting at -430, and the over/under sitting at 50.5. The trends I got here are Kansas City is 5-0 straight up in their last 5 games against Jacksonville, and they are also 11-2 straight up in their last 13 games at home. So lots of stuff favoring Kansas City to win this game, but do they cover the 9.5 points? Huff, what do you think about this one? Kansas City, Jacksonville, 1 o'clock.
I don't know. This is a tough game. I hate taking spreads this big. I say this every time we talk about them, but the Chiefs on their home field against this Jaguars team, they fought back. Was that last week against the Raiders?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they've hung around and
nothing.
Yeah, 20-0.
No, it was 17.
Was it?
Yeah, I had them. I was watching every second.
But yeah, this Jaguars team is just hanging around in games. I want to take the Jaguars plus 9.5. I just don't like it enough to do it, but I think they hang around in this game. I don't know why, but Trevor Lawrence, I've so wishy-washy on him. Some weeks I like him, some weeks I hate him, but I don't know. I just feel like the Chiefs coming home off a big Sunday night win. They were home in that Sunday night game against the Titans. My bad, but I don't know. I like the points here. If it gets even bigger, I might take the Jags.
Yeah, we got 82% of the money on Kansas City early on the spread, so something to look at. This is just a game that I definitely will not be touching. Won't be putting on my card. High spread, obviously Kansas City expected to win this game. This could be a backdoor cover opportunity for Trevor Lawrence and the Jags, though. Just trying to pad the stats at the end of the game. You know, last second drive, be down 15 points, end up losing by 8 or whatever it is. So, I don't know. I won't be touching this game. I don't really like anything on this game. I think the Chiefs obviously come out with a W in this game. I don't think they lose this game at home, but yeah, if I have to take anything, I'm taking Jacksonville plus 9.5, plus 10, whatever it's at.
Yeah, I mean, all your thoughts are right with this game, but I could also see a Chiefs team struggling a little bit. I ultimately think they will win, but I'm gonna go with the over here, 50.5. With these two high flying offense, I think that the Chiefs defense might have its hands full with some of the playmakers on that side of the ball, and Doug Peterson has that team playing really well. So, yeah, I think 1 o'clock slate with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, we see what he does in the prime time. He's throwing all game. Might take his over on yardage prop again. That hit. I was live in that. a few times that night too, as we could see in that tight one. He was always checking it down as they don't have a true running back out of Kansas City. But 9.5 points too much, especially with the way that the Jaguars backdoor cover all season long, like you both alluded to. I'm going with the over 50.5 is probably my favorite play, with also a Mahomes prop. Also, Kelsey hasn't gotten the end zone in a while. Just something to remember. Mackie, I feel like we've missed the Kelsey bets ever since that 3U missed.
Yeah, I think I cursed him.
Like, we literally, I don't think the team hasn't talked about him. We were riding Kelsey for a while, and he was hot. He hasn't gotten the end zone since then, I don't think.
Yeah, well, Chiefs have been a little MIA.
Shaky.
I mean, they squeaked one by last week. Honestly, they probably shouldn't have won that game last week.
They have so many weapons now, though, with Kadarius Toney being added. Juju Smith-Schuster stepping up as, like, the true one that I always thought it would be. Like, with a real quarterback, Juju, he's one of those guys that buys in. He cares. He wants to be on the same page. Like, he's a good athlete, too. He's
playing.
He's Mahomes' guy.
Well, but he's not playing anywhere to where wide receiver, like a top wide receiver one should be playing. He's not getting those touches. He's not getting those yards. He's not making those plays like Devontae Adams would, or Tyreek Hill, or
No, I agree with you 100%. But I don't think people like to say, like, obviously Tyreek Hill would be great to have on that team. But the way that Mahomes plays the ball, he plays winning football. The only guy he really keys on is Kelsey. Other than that, he spreads the rock pretty evenly. So with all the, like, adding Toney, that was insane. I love that. They have Hardman still. He likes to throw it to McKinnon. I think they might still have Pringle. I don't know. They have a lot of...
Nah, he's a bear.
Pringle?
Pringle's a bear.
Pringle's a bear.
Who else do they have? They have Valdez Scantling, too. That's what I was thinking of. Valdez Scantling, Hardman, Smith-Schuster, Toney, Kelsey. Who's Noah Gray?
Just about...
Mahomes loves him. That's the backup tight end.
That's what I'm saying.
Mahomes just loves his little, like, not really no-name receivers, but those low-name guys that can just find ways to get open after he scrambles, and he finds them over the middle of the field because he's scrambling in the backfield for 7-8 seconds. So that's what he needs. It's what he's always had. It's what he's won championships with, and that's what he's known for succeeding with. And I think they built that Chiefs team around him really well.
Yeah, he's just the best quarterback in football. Let's just be honest about it.
With
Kadarius Toney too, I can't wait to see him get a full week of reps, like full snap count. I think he's an explosive playmaker. I hated how he was with Daniel Jones for a while. Now I'm excited to see him really get to work, healthy and ready to go, and actually wanting to play. That's one big thing we talked about with hockey last week, Mackie. But I think that rings true in any sport. If people are happy and enjoying the spot they're in, they play a lot better. But yeah, over 50.5 is my pick for this game in Mahomes to pop.
Good stuff there, boys. Another 1 o'clock game we're going to cover is the Houston Texans at the New York Giants. The Giants are the favorite here at 5.5 points. The money line at -220 and the over-under sitting at 40.5. The trend I got is the Giants are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games. Huff, what do you think about this one here? Another 1 o'clock game.
This is a game that I'm probably going to be staying away from, but Giants, I always love a team at home off a bye week. They've shown that they're going to stay in these games. I think their record's still 6-2 or 6-3.
6-2.
6-2. But coming home off a bye for that loss against Seattle a couple weeks ago. But who they playing? I'm blanking right now. Texans off a mini bye, obviously the Thursday night game against the Eagles. So both of these teams are pretty well rested. I like the Giants -5. I think Saquon gets back in, and I think the Giants defense gets back to the way they started the season against a pretty inferior Texans team. I do like, back to what you guys said, Dameon Pierce to have a pretty good day. I just don't know if it'll be enough. I think it'll be a low-scoring game, but I like the Giants to come out on top.
Yeah, Huff. Mac, you got it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much I have to say about this game. I think this can go one of two ways. That's why it's sitting at 5 points. I think Giants can get off to a tough start and be playing from behind all game and maybe get off a game-winning drive, but so they don't really get a cover in. but I also think that they can come out hot and control the game the entire way and never really have this game in jeopardy. I think either way, they're in pretty good position to win this game against a one-win Texans team, and I think Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley have pretty much figured out how to do just enough to get wins this season, as they're sitting with the 6-2 record. They squeaked by a few wins, especially one with the Ravens. So they've done just enough to get wins, and I think that this 5-point spread might be a little too much for this Giants team, but I do think they win this game outright. But I do lean Texans +5. I think they're able to keep it close. I think it's bless you. I think this Texans team is a little better than a one-win team normally is, but I don't think this Giants team is also as good as a normal 6-2 team would normally be. So I like the Texans getting 5 points here.
Yeah, I like that theory. I definitely agree and think the same thing off the bat. But when I look closer into this game, the Texans that I've been high on all year are really starting to regress in the wrong direction, I think. With the locker room commotion caused by Brandon Cooks, their wide receiver 1, and being unable to replace him, like that offense is stalled. Davis, or what's his name?
Davis Mills.
Yeah, Davis Mills. He's really hit that sophomore slump like the rest of his class has, besides Justin Fields. Like they've.
Oh my god.
Nah, Fields had it early in the season, but they've all.
Nah, he's playing well now.
Yeah, but early on he was playing terrible, and I feel like at least at some point during the season, each of these sophomore quarterbacks has hit that sophomore slump and really struggled. Mac Jones has gone through a little bit. I think he's on the rebound out of it. We saw Trey Lance get injured and hurt. Trevor Lawrence has been up and down. So no one really great out of that class. And Mills with a weak supporting cast, I don't have too much confidence in him. I think Brandon Cooks is a distraction in the locker room, and that doesn't bode well for them. Dameon Pierce, definitely a unit. He's going to get probably, 25, 30 carries in the game. Probably put up over 100 yards. Offensive Rookie of the Year, my pick, and I think Mackey's too. But at the same time, this Giants team is playing well. I'm not buying into the hype and betting it, but I would take the Giants money line maybe in one of my light parlays. I think they win this game at home for sure, coming off of a bye, and prove themselves as like a team that's here to stay. Like you drop and go to 6-3 versus 7-2, that's a big difference, especially coming out of your bye against a weaker team at home. Really like the Giants to win. Probably another thing I love is a Saquon touchdown because that Texans defense can't stop anything. So yeah, definitely looking at the Giants to win this game, but I'm not taking a spread here just because of those pesky Texans and Dameon Pierce.
Alrighty, let's jump into our next game here. The Detroit Lions at the Chicago Bears. The Bears are our favorite here at -3. Their money line at -152 and the over-under at 48.5. The trend I got for this one is the Bears are 7-1 straight up in their last 8 games against the Lions. I honestly think this is going to be a great game. The Bears, Lions, 2 mediocre teams in my opinion, but I think it's going to be a good matchup. Ace, what do you think? Get us going.
Yeah, like you said, going to be a great matchup. An NFC North tilt. The 2 blue squads out of the NFC North matching up against each other. Justin Fields, like I alluded to earlier, really stating his case as a decent quarterback in this league, to say the least. Having the brightest spot of his young career, running for 178 yards to break the single game record was nice to see. I know Mackey was dogging him earlier in the year, but he is an athlete on a weak team, and he's proving that he can hang with the big boys at least.
I was dogging his arm.
Yeah, his arm, not the best, but it's been looking good. He threw 3 touchdowns last week, no interceptions. That's a good week by Justin Fields. If he does what he needs to and sets it up with his feet like he should be doing, he doesn't have to be that great. He's literally a Lamar light, Walmart version of Lamar Jackson, but with a lot of potential.
Just hold off on him. I mean, teams don't really have film on him. We have to wait till next year when they start to get a feel on how he plays the game, and I think he'll be I mean, he's a less athletic Lamar Jackson, and you know the amount of hate that Lamar Jackson had on his game. I think he just had enough athleticism to get by and like have a career and make it work out for him. I don't think Justin Fields is going to be able to be successful at least at this level with the way that he plays the game consecutively.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not comparing him to Lamar Jackson. I'm just saying he has a like skill set. I think Lamar's an MVP candidate year in and year out. But here's an interesting question that just popped into my mind for you. 3 years from now, who's going to be better, Kyler Murray or Justin Fields?
I hate Kyler Murray. Just because
His
he has
legs?
more of an upside at this point in his career.
You want to know? I'm excited for. You said next year when teams have film on. I'm excited for 2 years from now when his rookie contract's up and he can go play for a good team. I want to see what he can do. Imagine him in San Francisco. He might be what Trey Lance was supposed to be.
Yeah. You're hoping.
I'm hoping. I like Justin Fields. I think he's a good athlete. He's fun to watch. And with the additions of Claypool, he has Mooney, he has Komet, Herbert, who Huff's a big fan of, and Montgomery. I mean, the future's not too bleak in Chicago. I mean, young team. It's a divisional game, though. So my favorite play, though, crazy to say this. I know Jesse and Huff give stats about divisional games always playing slow and going under, but I love the over here. Just the amount of points that Fields has been putting up. Like we said, with Mackey's elite Cowboys defense giving up 25 plus, the Dolphins giving up 30 plus. We know they can put them up, and the Lions can't stop anything like that Texans defense I was talking about earlier. But the Lions can score points. Jamal Williams will probably get in the end zone once or twice with the limited workload to Swift. So I like the over in Williams. What do you like, Huff?
I don't know. This is a tough game. Obviously, Bears Lions, like you said, in a divisional matchup. I usually like to give the points, but I actually like the Bears for all the reasons that you said. I just like what Justin Fields is doing. I like that they're finally starting to open up the playbook to his ability and what they're good at. But I'm going to go with the Bears -3. I don't really love it, but I do like your opinion on the game to go be a high-scoring one. Obviously, the Bears the past couple of weeks have been putting up points. The Lions' offense has shown all the signs that they can put up the points. They did it early on in the year. Just the past couple of weeks haven't been able to put it together. But I also think last week was kind of the Lions' Super Bowl, beating the Packers on their home field in Detroit. But I think coming off a big win like that, I think they come down to Chicago and lose by 3 or more. I like the Bears in this spot -3.
Hey, whatever happened to Amon-Ra St. Brown, DeAndre Swift? Like, I know I read their updates and they get limited and they're banged up. These guys are out of the lineup way too much.
There's certain guys that just like Keenan Allen. I feel like he hasn't played all year.
Load management.
Deontay Johnson, or no? Is he just a hard-nosed player, gets the ball a lot?
Deontay Johnson? Is that who you said?
Correct.
Yeah, I mean,
Correct.
I don't know. Speaking of the Bears, did you see the video of Claypool warming up and it hit him right in the hands and he dropped it? And someone made a TikTok of it and they were like, Claypool back on his bullshit in Chicago. It was just dropping balls in warm-ups. It was so funny.
I think he's good. I wish the Patriots got him.
That would have been a really good receiver for them to go get.
They made a push, I guess, for him, but the Bears had a better offer.
Yeah,
Actually,
you
no,
sent me that.
It wasn't that. The Steelers didn't want to send him to the Patriots, which makes
We
sense.
didn't want to send him to you, yeah.
Crazy stuff there. All right, speaking of the Steelers, let's jump into that game, the New Orleans Saints at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Saints are the favorite here at 1.5 points, the money line at -125, and the over-under at 40.5. The trend I got for this one is the Saints are 4-1 straight up in their last 5 games against Pittsburgh, but I think it's going to be an interesting game. TJ Watt expected to return. He's very optimistic that he can return, so I think that line, I think it includes that, but what do you guys think? Huff, get us going on this one, Steelers and Saints.
Yes, Steelers obviously coming off a bye week. I always say I like the home teams coming off a bye. And the Saints haven't really shown me too much. Last week, catching an L on Monday Night Football against the Ravens. Ravens a pretty good team. Steelers not necessarily on their level right now. But I think this is a good spot for Kenny Pickett to come home and get his first win at Acrisure Stadium. I like the Steelers. I'll take the, +1.5. What's the money line? +108. I like that. So I think the Steelers get the win here. So I'm obviously going for the Steelers. The Saints, and it's not even, obviously it's a homer pick, but the Saints just haven't really shown me too much. And I'm just waiting until they decide to go back to Jameis. I know he's been kind of injured the past couple weeks, but Andy Dalton is not the answer for the Saints.
I'm on the other side of this one. I'm kind of feeling the Saints on this one. I think, like we said, that division is still up for grabs, and they're sitting at 3-6. Yeah, your odds aren't looking too good, but you're still only a game back in that division, and you got Tom Brady and the Bucs not playing very well. You can beat the Falcons, and you can outplay the Falcons because obviously that team isn't that good. They still got something to play for, and I think Steelers are kind of down and out right now. Obviously, if TJ Watt plays, we're looking at a bit of a different game, and Is that confirmed he's playing, or what's going on? Is it just expected?
Not confirmed, but he was very optimistic and stuff like that. And I just keep saying
I don't want him to
He's gonna
play
play even if he
year,
suits up.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just really like the Saints here. I think they have more going for them. I think they didn't look very good last week against the Ravens, but on Monday Night Football. But I don't know. Steelers have nothing going for them either. I mean, they haven't really done much. They got a nice win against the Bucs that 1 week, but that's all they've really done this season. And I don't know. I think the Saints will cover this game and get a win, a much needed win that they need to stay afloat in this NFC South.
Yeah, Mackie, I agree with you on the same side of the Saints there. I mean, not too happy about it, though. I don't know if I'll be playing this, but I don't know. I've been really against the Steelers this year. I don't know how they can manufacture points very much. And that Saints defense it's a good unit. Keeps them in games, wins them games. But playing in Heinz Field, it's not an easy task. Or I'm gonna call it Heinz Field still, but it's not an easy task to come across. Mike Tomlin, we saw him beat a much better Bucs team. So you can get it done. I'd like to see how George Pickens does this week. Steelers coming off a bye, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got another week under his belt with Kenny Pickett. I mean, now I'm talking myself into the Steelers a little bit, but I still think
it's a short week versus a team that's home off a bye. That's the reason I'm mainly liking the Steelers here.
Yeah. I mean, I'd take that pick for sure if I was you. But my favorite play is probably the under 40 here.
I like the under too.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Maybe a couple of the field goal bets would be nice here too. But I do like George Pickens to have a good game. He sees a high target share on that offense, as he should.
Pickett loves to throw the ball to him.
I read a report that
especially now with no Claypool.
Read a report that Freiermuth is going to soak up the Claypool targets, but we'll see how that works out.
I love Freiermuth.
Yeah, great tight end. You could tell coming out he looked like primed to be one of the vintage Steeler tight ends. Possession tight end that gets open and catches the ball, moves the chains, and he's great in the red zone.
He's kind of like what everyone thought Mike Gesicki was going to be coming out of Penn State, going to the Dolphins. Like, I think Freiermuth is obviously has definitely a higher ceiling at this point. Obviously, Gesicki's a few more years into the league, but Gesicki had a couple of years, but he's had some injury troubles. But Freiermuth has been just consistent through the first. How many years has he been with us? 2, 3?
This is year 2. The thing is, Freiermuth, he's definitely one of those hometown unsung heroes because he doesn't have the eye-popping ability of a guy like George Kittle or like even Gesicki. I think has a little bit more speed, but Freiermuth is what you want in a tight end. If he was on a Brady offense down in Tampa Bay, he might be considered one of the best tight ends in the league. But where he is and what he does, he's just going to do exactly what he does: catch 6 balls a game, get
47 yards and a touchdown.
Yep. Like, he catches the big plays though. He's the security blanket, and he's the guy they look to when they really have nothing going. I'm excited to see his progression come along. But yeah, I want to see how they disperse the targets now without Claypool.
Gives them all the more reason to pass to Pickens and such. Without Claypool there, good stuff out of that game. The next one up is the Cleveland Browns at the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are the favorite in this one at 3.5 points. Their money line at -194 and the over-under at 48.5. The trends I got for this one are that Josh Allen, wrong game, sorry. The Dolphins are 0-5-1 versus the spread in their last 6 this season. What do we think is going to happen in this one? Mackie, you want to get us going?
Yeah, I think this could be one of our better games of the week. Two teams that Dolphins look pretty good. Browns, I wouldn't say look bad. I mean, Jacoby Brissett's getting enough done with how he's been playing. I guess they've been on a bit of a skid lately, but they're coming off a nice win against the Bengals. They had a bye week last week, didn't they? Yeah, so they're coming off a fresh week. Going on the road. Sorry, I had to look at records real quick. Going on the road, they're only 1-2 on the road this year. They haven't really been on the road that much, as Miami's 3-1 at home. So Miami's more of a home team. I think a lot of people are going to be on Miami here, especially with the smaller spread. It's only sitting at 3.5, 4 points. Could see it go up a little with all the money on them, but I think I like the Browns in this situation. I think there's a lot of coming off coming off a bye week, they have a lot of time to get ready for this game. They've been game planning for this game for about probably a week and a half now, and they're ready for this game, and they're ready to. It's a big win. It's a big game for them. They're sitting at 3-5, 4-5. It looks a lot better than 3-6, and they're just trying to get back to Deshaun Watson for week 12. I think they can definitely keep it close here. They're known for losing close games. They've lost a few games by 2-3 points this year, so I think a 4-point spread will be enough for them to cover here. I like the Browns +4. I think Miami can definitely still win this game, but I think it's going to be a close nail biter coming down to the end.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
it's going to be a great game. But, Huff, what were you going to say there?
No, you go ahead.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it. I do have a lot to say on this game, I think. I like the over here a lot. We saw how much the Bears put up on that Dolphins defense last week, and they were running with Justin Fields. I mean, now you're running with, in my opinion, the best true running back in the league. It's either him or Derrick Henry. But Nick Chubb is a monster. And they still have Kareem Hunt kicking around, too. Let's not forget about that. But we've seen that the Browns cannot stop anything on defense. They have names on that side of the ball, and they're supposed to be looked at like the Steelers' defense, but they aren't. They're a bunch of frauds. I know they played well on Halloween, but I think they were just really hyped up for that game. You saw Myles Garrett come into the stadium wearing the Vecna suit, so that was pretty cool to see. But yeah, I definitely like the over here. I like Nick Chubb to get in the end zone and to rush for over 100 this week. Tyreek Hill prop, maybe that'll make a scene again. That I didn't hit it last week and it popped, so might as well jump back on that train. That's like a moneymaker. Tyreek Hill looking to lead the NFL as a wide receiver. I just sent you guys a post. I don't know if you saw it. He's leading odds right now for Offensive Player of the Year with his stats he's put up so far in McDaniel's offense. So, yeah, I'm liking the over there. I think the Dolphins should win this game, but they could lose to a good Browns offense. Good Browns team just waiting to get Deshaun Watson back. But, yeah, Nick Chubb to go over 100, the over in the game. And 48.5, not that much. Tua throws every play, too. So, those are my favorite picks, Chubb and the over.
I do like the over, too. I like that play.
Yeah, so, Mackie, I'm right there with you. I do like the Browns with the points, but the one thing that's kind of making me maybe stay away from taking this on the card would be the fact that the Dolphins are undefeated in games that Tua's played the entire game this season. So, obviously, when he's in there, the Dolphins are a different team. I know getting a +4 spread, they could lose this game by 3, but it seems like everything clicks whenever he's under center for the Dolphins. Last week, only winning by 3 against the Bears in a high-scoring game. I think this could be a very similar game, like you said, but if I had to make a pick on this, I do like the Browns +3.5. Or 4.
Yeah, like I said, we've seen the Browns lose many close games this year. They lost by a field goal to the Ravens. They lost by 2 points to the Chargers. I mean, they're right there. They're two good bounces away from a 5-3 record instead of a 3-5 record. So we know what this team can do. We know that what they're capable of. It matters what Jacoby Brissett brings out, and if they can keep up with that Miami offense, because they're going to get their points.
Yeah, that's funny that you say that you want the points there, but it does make sense with the way that the Heartbreak Browns love to lose. They love looking like they're going to win and then missing that big field goal or fumbling the game away.
Dude, it's the same thing with the Mavs, dude. They win every game by 1 to 3 points every single game.
Yeah, it's just the story of like the culture of the team. It's just the way it goes. They could win or lose every game they're in. It's the way
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
To bring up a trend you brought up a lot early in the year, especially with it being a non-primetime game. If you're going to take that dog, you might as well take a money line now.
Yeah, last time I did that, the Panthers like to miss 2 field goals in the dying seconds, so maybe we should
That's
just
what I
stick
said.
with,
That's what
maybe
I
we
said
should
as
just
soon
stick
as
with
I
the
take the
points.
money line. That's what I said. As soon as I end up taking the underdog money line, it's not going to hit, but the spread would. So, like I always say, they give you the points for a reason. I'm just going to stick with taking the points.
This seems like Mackey's dog of the week, but I do like that pick. But this Tua offense and that stat Huff threw out about Tua playing the full game and never losing yet. Yeah, they're firing on all cylinders. They're going to put up a lot of points. I mean, the Browns are going to have to keep up, and with a heavy ground game and just Amari Cooper through the air, I don't even think Njoku's back.
He's questionable, but the one thing that scares me about saying this could be a high-scoring game is I think the Browns could really slow this down if they're able to run the ball like they want to.
But if they run the ball like they want to with Nick Chubb and pound the rock all game, they're going to put up more points than they would if they went through the air, I think.
Yeah, I agree, but it depends. Obviously that means the clock's going to be running, so.
Agreed.
But
I think Chubb
yeah.
breaks a few maybe this week, though. I really like Chubb over 100 here.
I like that.
Get one of those parlay odds. You get the over 100 plus, 1 plus TD. It's a nice player prop to look at.
Going to be a good 1 o'clock matchup there, like you boys said. Lots to look forward to. The next one we got is the Minnesota Vikings at the Buffalo Bills. The Bills favorited here at -3.5. Their money line at -180 and the over-under at 43.5. The trends I got here are that Josh Allen is 8-1 straight up and 5-3-1 against the spread at home versus NFC opponents. And Kirk Cousins is 12-7 against the spread as a road underdog in the 1 p.m. slate. Trends there favoring both sides. So what do we think is going to happen? Huff, you want to get us going here?
Yeah, this is obviously a pretty tough situation. You're going to want to wait. This is going to be the game you want to wait up until you see what happens with Josh Allen's injury. This is a game I could see him just kind of missing this game, as obviously the Bills' record is what it is, and they can kind of afford a loss here if it means the future of their franchise quarterback. So I think
I don't know. Look at that tight division right now. I don't know if you can afford a loss right now with Miami, with the way Miami and the Jets are playing right now, and obviously you got the Patriots sitting at 5-4, can go on a little bit of a run. This division's a little tight to just throw away a game right now against 7-1 team.
I know, but I'm looking at it as your franchise quarterback's arm could potentially need Tommy John surgery, and if it means he could sit out a week and see how it feels, or he could play this week, and if it gets any worse, he's going to need surgery, and you waste this entire being the Super Bowl favorite, as Ace said, the summer Super Bowl champions. This team had so much hopes going into the season, and Josh Allen gets hurt at this point. If it's a serious injury, the Bills' season is over.
Yeah, and I think this is definitely a situation where you do see him sit out. I don't think he plays this game, especially with everything leading up to it, and at 1 o'clock, just a out-of-conference game against the Minnesota Vikings. I think this is a good spot for him to sit out, and I think if you want to bet on Minnesota, you should really get on them right now, because I think they'll be 3-point favorites if Josh Allen's not playing.
I saw this earlier on in the week. It was like 4.5 or 5. Now we're still looking at 3.5. But Case Keenum, the backup for the Bills, a revenge game against the Vikings, and Stephon Diggs too. The Minneapolis Miracle was Keenum the Diggs, and now they're both Buffalo Bills. So I don't know. That's something to look at. The Bills are obviously dominant at home. Their defense is what it is. The Vikings, obviously, like you said, 7-1. They're pretty legit and flying pretty high with Kirk Cousins and what he's been able to do over the past couple of weeks. It's a tough spread, like you said. If you want the Vikings, I'd get in now. But if you're leaning Buffalo and you think they can pull this off with a backup quarterback, or if you want to wait and see what happens with Josh Allen, I think your best bet is to wait.
Yeah, it's such a tough spot. I mean, you want to know something that I think is pretty crazy? Even though I've been high on the Vikings all year and I still think they're going to win that division, I think regardless of Josh Allen playing, I think the Bills win this game. That defense is so slept on. Not slept on, but like not talked about enough. Everybody looks at Josh Allen the offense, but in reality, that's one of the best defensive units in the league, if not the best. With all of the names they have on that side of the ball, you can't really run efficiently or pass through the air with the DBs group that they have. And then they have nice linebackers that can go sideline to sideline. So this will be a good one, I think, if Josh Allen is out. But if Josh Allen is fine and it's just like a little tweak or something like that, they're going to blow the Vikings out this week, I believe. I like a Bills team total over if Allen plays, but it's all speculation on him. Obviously, MVP candidate. So we have to see what that comes down to. But I still like the Bills either way this week. I think they get back on track after a tough divisional loss.
I think it's going to be a great game there, Vikings-Bills. We'll see what happens there Sunday at 1 o'clock. And for our last 1 o'clock game on Sunday, we have the Denver Broncos at the Tennessee Titans. We got the Titans favored in this one at -2.5 points. Their money line at -138 in the over-under, sitting at 36.5. The trends I got here are that the Titans are 5-1 straight up and 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 this season. as well as Denver is 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 games when playing Tennessee. Do we think that trend with Denver keeps going? Plus 118 on the money line for them. Ace, what do you think?
Yeah, the Broncos, tough team. We've been looking at them all year in the prime time, so I'm happy that it's actually a 4:00 game this week instead of
It is a 1:00 game.
Oh, it's a 1:00 game. Sorry, even more for the wear. I mean, keep them out of my view. I'm not going to be watching this one, but with Malik Willis at the helm too, I think I saw Tannehill's questionable. Anybody know if he's starting?
I haven't seen anything yet on that.
I believe it's Willis though, but if Tannehill's in, I love the Titans in this spot. Not sold on anything that's going on out of Denver, and the Titans at home leading their division. They're looking to stomp one out on the AFC West after getting hosed over up in Kansas City. So I really like the Titans this week. I think Henry's going to carry them. He's running strong the last few weeks, finding the end zone twice in the prime time. He's definitely going to get in this week again. He's going to carry the Titans to a victory. But with Malik Willis, I'm going to be hesitant to put my money on it. But if Tannehill can get in there, definitely like him. You could hear what you guys have to say. I'm not sold on the Broncos at all, though.
I'm really high on the Titans this week. This Broncos team just doesn't really show much for me. They're 1-3 on the road this year, and I'm pretty sure that one road win was a neutral site in London. So they really haven't won a true road game yet this year, and they're going into a team that's pretty confident right now. They're top of a pretty easy division right now, and they want to keep rolling and stay atop that division and just make sure they hang on to a playoff spot. I mean, even with Malik Willis, they showed last week that they're able to hang with some of the best teams. They had Pat Mahomes on the ropes, brought him to overtime, and essentially couldn't get a win in overtime, but they didn't look bad, and they were in that game the entire time. They had a lead for 90% of it. Derrick Henry showed what he could do back-to-back weeks. Obviously, he showed what he could do against the Texans as well, but I think the Titans definitely control this game on their home field and definitely come out with a win in this game.
I'm on the other side of you guys. I actually like the Broncos in this spot. If I can find a +3, I really like the Broncos to come into Tennessee. I think, like you said, a lot of eyes are on Tennessee after that game against Kansas City. I feel like we've seen it a lot of times before. These mediocre teams go into primetime games against big teams, put up a fight, and then the week after they kind of come back to earth and kind of rejoice back to what they really are. I think this Tennessee team with Malik Willis, the receivers haven't been up to par for Tennessee. It's kind of just been the Derrick Henry show as we've seen for the past couple of years in Tennessee. The defense is legit. That's no discount to their defense. They've shown the ability to stay in games and contain Patrick Mahomes last week, obviously in prime time, but that was a big game. I think Vrabel had them kind of pretty hyped up for that one on Sunday night, but I like Russell Wilson and the Broncos here. Like I said, 2.5's tough. I like 3, but definitely gonna want to wait and see. But I'm definitely leaning Broncos here.
I am not surprised to hear you say that, Huff. You're big on those Broncos ever since your boy Russ went there, but it's a tough spot. Yeah, I just like the Titans, like Mackie said, at home with Mike Vrabel coaching the team. He's one of the better coaches in the NFL.
Bengals don't. I mean, not Bengals. Broncos don't have a true road win this year either, so that's why I'm really against them this week.
Yeah, and what are they really going to do to keep up? They've shown they can't really pass the ball. Their running game is in shambles, and I'm not a fan of that coach at all. The guy's an idiot. I think Derrick Henry's the best player on the field on both sides of the ball. They offloaded Bradley Chubb too, didn't they? Do we get to see who did they pick up? Chase Edmonds, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I bet you they get him the ball a little bit, but such a weird committee back there. Gordon, Murray, Edmonds, Boone, all replacing Javonte Williams. So not sold on anything they got cooking. So yeah, definitely Titans for me. Mike Vrabel's got him playing well. I like that defense.
Good stuff there, boys. The last 1:00 game there. Time to jump into our 4:00 slate. Jeez. Time to jump into our 4:00 slate. The first game I got is the Indianapolis Colts at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are the favorite here at 5.5 points. Their money line at -250 and the over-under at 42.5. No trends from me in this one, so let's send it right over. Huff, what do you think? You want to start us off with this one?
Yeah, obviously this is a game I'm probably going to be avoiding with what's going on with the Colts. Kind of unloading most of their coaching staff, getting rid of Frank Reich this past week and the offensive coordinator, and then hiring Jeff Saturday out of nowhere after being an ESPN analyst and having no prior coaching history other than being a head coach in somewhere down south in Georgia or Florida, I believe. But we've seen the stat with teams covering the week after or they get an interim coach, or the week they get their interim coach his first time in his first game. But I don't know. It's a tough spot to take the Colts here, and obviously the Raiders have blown a game last week against the Jaguars after starting out what looked like they could have won that game probably 42 to 16, 17. Looked like they were going to blow out the Jaguars there. So the Raiders just haven't really been able to stay ahead in games that they've got in, but the Colts don't really have anything going for them. But it's tough to say with Sam Ehlinger. Another game, obviously, was last week his first start, if I'm correct. Second start.
Second game. I don't know if he started that first game.
Yeah, true. I don't know. Young quarterbacks, it's so tough to say. So this is a game I'll be staying away from, but I'm leaning Raiders, I guess, -5. Definitely choose the Raiders at home, but I don't love it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not really looking at this game either. Definitely one of the worst games of the week. One of them I'm probably not going to have a play on this, but just two teams that don't look very good. Obviously, Sam Ehlinger's looking at an 0-2 start. He almost had a nice win against the Commanders in his first game, but Taylor Heineke led a game-winning drive down, took away his opening game win. So he's sitting at 0-2. Obviously, got blown out by the Patriots last week. I just don't see a lot of points going up on the board this week. I think it's two teams that are basically down in the dumps right now. Colts don't have much going for them. Raiders 2-6 after all they had going for them this year. So two teams down pretty bad right now. Nothing really clicking on offense for either team. Colts have a pretty good defense. I don't really see their offense doing much, so I really like the under 42.5 here. I think it's a pretty safe play, and I think it'll be probably a no sweat in my opinion. I don't see either of these teams really moving the ball downfield.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm surprised. You want to know what that screams to me? You guys obviously haven't watched the Colts because they're an uninteresting team. Not even the Colts, but the Ehlinger at least. Last week I got to literally watch every snap of his game because he was playing the Patriots. So I got to really see what they had, and he is awful. He is not an NFL quarterback at all, and there's way too much firepower on the Raiders. I was high on them early in the year, and I think they get back on track this week, especially at home. I like them -6. That's why I have them at. If Huff has them at -5, I'll find that. Definitely hammer that. Love the Raiders this week to win and have a great game. I think Josh Jacobs continues a strong year. We're going to see Devontae Adams have a big game. I think Darren Waller's back in the fold too, which will definitely help. And if you saw last week, the Patriots set a career high with 9 sacks against Ehlinger. Now he's going to go on the road and play again against Max Crosby and Chandler Jones. He definitely isn't too excited about that. And Jonathan Taylor, a shell of himself, even if he does somehow figure out how to suit up with his ankle injury or whatever it is. Not too confident in him. The only playmaker really on that side of the ball is Michael Pittman Jr. Pierce isn't bad, but I don't think they get anything going. They could be blown out by 3 scores at least this game. I think that the Raiders really get on track and pull the rails off of Sam Ehlinger. I think Sam Ehlinger doesn't finish this game, if I'm being honest.
Good stuff there, boys. The first 4 o'clock game on the slate. Let's jump into the next one, the Arizona Cardinals at the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams, the favorite in this one at 1.5. The money line sitting at -124 and the over-under at 41.5. The trends I got in this one are that the Cardinals are 10-4 straight up and against the spread in their last 14 on the road. The Rams are 11-1 straight up in their last 12 against Arizona, as well as 5-1 straight up in their last 6 games when playing at home against Arizona. Some interesting trends there. What do we think is going to happen in this 4 o'clock matchup? Ace, you want to run us with this one?
Yeah, it's crazy to think that this game is some considering a snooze fest or not even a must-watch. With high expectations coming in the year from both sides, as the Rams is defending Super Bowl champions and Cardinals looking to be on the upswing after giving Kyler Murray the bag. It's turned into a pretty ugly game and a must-win for both sides, and I think that's why you see the line so close. I mean, they haven't shown much. I'm not going to be leaning. I lean the Cardinals, obviously, and at plus, I like that. And they're not at home. They like to win on the road, as we've talked about on this podcast. But the thing is, I'm not betting on the Cardinals anymore. They've lost too many games and do strange things, and I don't think they're going to get rid of Kingsbury or anything like that, but he's been strange with his coaching decisions this year. I do really like Hopkins to eat. He'll see 10-plus targets and probably get in the end zone this week. Same with Cooper Kupp. So maybe you get a double parlay with Kupp and Hopkins of some sort. But yeah, nothing I truly love. Two underperforming teams. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but Matthew Stafford's in concussion protocol right now too. So maybe that's a good thing for the Rams if he sits. But at the same time, I don't think so. Obviously, and they don't have much of a running game. I don't really know what's going on with Akers and Henderson and all that, and the undrafted rookie free agents that the alleged mastermind Sean McVay is using. But this is a stay away game for me, even though I lean the Cardinals. Mackie, what do you think about this one?
Well, I don't. Just another shitty game. A lot of shitty games this week. It's a pretty shitty slate. Yeah, we're getting to a rough point in the league right now. This is also a game we look at the beginning of the year, and you're expecting a pretty good game, pretty good situation, a 4 o'clock game. Divisional. I just don't. Neither of these teams have anything going. Rams crucial loss last week. Heartbreaking offense. Couldn't really do anything. Couldn't help out that defense at all. Defense got a stop in the. I think it was within the final 2 minutes, and then they go back out there and couldn't get it done. Tom Brady got exactly what he needed to. So coming off a tough loss, like you said, must-win situation for both teams. I think it's more for the Rams, as they're only sitting at 3-5. 4-5 looks a lot better than 3-6, and the Cardinals are already sitting at 3-6, and the Rams just have more of a recipe for a championship mentality. So I think this team has a little more to lose than the Cardinals here. So I think evidently they'll win this game. They'll find a way to just do just enough to win this game, but I think it's going to be a pretty shitty all-around game. I don't think either team's going to look good. I don't think either team is really going to deserve a win here. But I think the Rams just find a way to squeak one by, just kind of like the Bucs did against them last week.
Yeah, I'm on the same side as you. I do like the Rams here. -1.5 spread, divisional game. I'll take the home team, but like you said, the Rams haven't really looked good last week. They couldn't get the points when they needed to against the Bucs. I like the Rams here in a divisional matchup. Obviously, the Cardinals have burned me a couple times over the past couple of weeks. I liked them early on a couple of times, but the past couple of times I've taken the Cardinals, they burnt me. Rams burnt me 2 weeks ago, so it's interesting for me to take them here, but I do like the Rams to get things done and get back on track. Obviously, I like them with Stafford. I don't even know who their backup quarterback is, so Ace, you said he's in concussion protocol, so I hope he plays, but I like the Rams here.
Yeah, I understand your guys' points. That defense from the Rams is one thing we didn't touch upon. If they're going to win this game, it's really based off of that. Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, and then all the other names you have along with them. But I'm leaning the Cardinals. It is a must-win game, though, which will make a good... I think this will actually turn out to be a good game. Divisional matchup, two higher market teams, at least people like watching them. They're supposed to be good. Yeah, I think...
Are you taking the under on this one?
Yeah, probably. I mean, did you watch this Rams team last week? What do you say?
What's it at?
41.5, 42 maybe.
That's so.
I mean,
low.
Cardinals kind of killed that. Cardinals don't really have a good defense. Their offense kind of puts up some points. They really find a way to, where they turn the ball over on their own 20, so they give the other team points. But I'm definitely looking at the under here. It's a divisional game. Rams really have put up no points this season. Offense looks awful. Defense looks pretty good. Yeah, I'll lean that. I'm not sure if I'm gonna play it, but I'm definitely a play I'm gonna look into a little.
I just think that Kupp and Hopkins are going to be spammed because both sides don't have much else on offense.
They weren't spammed last week.
No, Hopkins has been since he came back. He had a touchdown early. It was his lightest game of the year. He ended with 5 for 65 and a touchdown of his 3. His other 2 games, he had over 10. He had over 10 catches.
Yeah, he's been going off, but it obviously has done nothing for this team and done any impact on the outcome of the game.
Yeah, I think he's an X factor. He's like what they need to get over the top.
They're 0-3 since he's been back. Are they not?
No. Remember, we all hammered them his first game back on the prime time at home, and they won. I had a 2U play on that.
Who did they beat? I was against it. I know what you're talking about.
Who was that? Do you remember who they played?
Raiders, maybe.
Sounds about right. But yeah, I'm leaning them. I'm not taking any team in this game. I think it'll be a fun one to watch though. Actually, it's going to be an exciting 4 o'clock matchup. Like we said, must win though. Like literally a must win for both sides. Especially with all of us thinking that the Seahawks are going to lose this week. Whoever wins this could backdoor their way into a division win, right?
Saints, Ace.
Oh, they beat the Saints? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Saints aren't good. But
Yeah, Saints are brutal. I would keep falling for their bullshit.
Yep. Yeah, you said it earlier too. I'm leaning them to that Steelers Saints game. But yeah, no, excited for this matchup. I'm a Kyler Murray fan, so I'm hoping he turns it around.
We'll see what the boy can do. Modern Warfare 2 is out now. See what will happen. Alrighty, boys. Last 4 o'clock game we got is the Dallas Cowboys at the Green Bay Packers. The Dallas Cowboys, the favorite here at -5. The money line at -230 and the over-under at 43. The trends I got here are Aaron Rodgers is 5-1 against the spread as a home underdog, as well as 5-1 to the under when hosting Dallas at Lambeau Field, including the playoffs. Dallas is 6-1 straight up in their last 7 on the road, as well as 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games overall. Good trends both ways. What do we think's going to happen here, Mackie? Take it away, your Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm always a little more cautious when Dallas is going into Lambeau. I don't know what it is about that place, but we can't really seem to find much going on there. That being said, Dallas looks really good. Their offense has been rolling. We've seen what they've been doing this past couple of weeks against the pretty worst teams in the league, coming off wins against the Lions and the Bears. But you're going into Lambeau here against Packers team that's really got nothing going for them. They're coming off a loss to the Lions. That we haven't seen that in probably 3-4 years. So Aaron Rodgers looks out of sorts. Everybody looks out of sorts in that team. They have really nothing going for them. Defense looks all right. Didn't do enough last week to get the win. Still only gave up 15 points. I just don't. This team just really they're not playing for anything at this point. They're not playing for a division. This team does suck, and they're not close to a playoff team. They're not close to competing for a playoff spot. I want to say Dallas comes in and gets the job done, manhandles them, but I've seen this too many times where this is a game where they can just sit back and choke this one away. So I don't know. Give me the under. I think this is a defensive game. I think Dak doesn't really have it going as much as he did last week, and I think he's got to, they got to punt the ball away a few more times this week. So give me the under. I think defensive game.
I think that 4.5 points is really generous to Aaron Rodgers against a solid Cowboys team. I know that going into Lambeau is definitely not the most inviting thing, but this Packers team has been playing terrible, and Aaron Jones has been banged up. They have no receiving threat. They have nothing really going for them at all. Their defense is good. Aaron Rodgers can get into the red zone, but then he turns it over. I like the Cowboys a lot.
He just doesn't look like he wants to be playing football right now.
No, not at all. But I'm excited to see this game. This will be a good This is a good matchup, two classic franchises. But I really do like the Cowboys with the points. Don't know if I'm gonna play it though, because like you said, it's sketchy going into Lambeau. I don't know what I'm going to take in this game. Definitely look out on our card. I don't have a definite play right now that I can think of. I don't know, Hoff, you got one?
I'm kind of leaning with Mackie. I've seen it too many times, the Packers handling business with certain teams in Lambeau, and the Cowboys are one of them. Getting 5 points, I think Rodgers is able to just kind of squeak out an ugly win here. But I was right there with you, Mackie. I do think this is a slower game, and we could see a nice under hit here. What is the total set at on FanDuel? Yeah, I do. 43, that's tough. Two offenses that if they pop, that under could be busted in the middle of the third quarter. But I like the Packers here to keep things close, I think.
Especially an under is tough in a Rodgers game because of the way he scores his touchdowns too. He hits those bombs when you least expect it, right?
But like you said, who's he going to deep?
The guys that are going to drop the ball. realistically. Aaron Jones.
What's
being
that
banged up
Dobbs
is so
guy?
huge,
What's
though.
that?
He has-
What's
he has
that
so
Dobbs
much,
guy?
Mac, you're on mute. But Aaron Jones has so much potential in this
I like
offense.
Dobbs, but he's hurt too.
I just said, yeah. What about that Dobbs guy? Is he still out?
He's out. Watson's out too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my
Alan
two favorite
Lazard's
wide
back, I'm
receivers on
pretty
that
sure.
offense, and they're out.
Alan Lazard.
Yeah, but Alan Lazard isn't his ceiling is already hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's still the number one receiver on that team.
Yeah, trash though. You want to say Juju Smith-Schuster is a light wide receiver 1? That's a light wide receiver 1.
Okay, yeah. Okay, point made. I agree.
No, I'm with you though. Alan Lazard's serviceable at least, I guess. Like he's his favorite target, you know. I expect more out of Robert Tonyan, and we don't get it. But they gave that contract to Aaron Jones because he's the guy that Rodgers wants to get the ball the most in the game. And if he's out, I mean, maybe we look at some Dillon props, honestly. But I don't know what to really play in this game. Weird game. Tough spot for the Cowboys, even though I think they're a good team, much better team all around.
Yeah, definitely not a game where I'm going to take player props. I don't think there's a lot of offense at all. But if anything, I'm probably not going to touch this game just because I don't really love Dallas here. And, don't really want to give out an over-under on a game that I want to see Dallas score points on. So
Tough 4:00 slate this week.
just a tough slate in general.
I'm telling you though, that Rams Cardinals game is going to be a good game. This one could turn out to be a good one too. Two good teams, like they're supposed to be good. You know, like those four teams in these last two games we talked about are supposed to be good games, good teams, like good quarterbacks. You know what I mean? So we're going to see some.
One thing I was going to say about the Packers and Cowboys game, one thing that could be a fun bet, I don't know the odds on it. They're probably not out yet, but for an anytime touchdown score, maybe Rodgers to run one in. Kind of just to him keeps saying all this shit about how everyone keeps making mistakes, but he's never really saying anything about himself doing anything. We heard him go on the McAfee show this week and say that he's still the back-to-back defending MVP. So basically just kind of making sure everyone still knows who Aaron Rodgers is. So I think that'd be an interesting one. Maybe see him try to rush one in. But I know he's in his older years. You probably get some crazy odds on that. Maybe throw a little sprinkle on that, but a little Lambeau leap. I know everyone keeps saying he doesn't look the happiest to where he is right now, but he still wants to win football games, and I think this is a big reason for him to come out and have a big game here Sunday afternoon.
I like your theory on that, Hoff. I like your theory on that, and I like the odds on that probably, like if you saw us really lately. But the thing is, I could see Trayvon Diggs scoring a touchdown before I see Aaron Rodgers scoring a touchdown this week.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Good stuff out of the 4:00 slate there. Like we said, kind of a weird 4:00 slate, weird slate overall. But we're trucking on. All right, next up, the Sunday primetime game, the Los Angeles Chargers at the San Francisco 49ers. California battle here with the 49ers, the favorite at -7, the money line at -300, and the over-under at 45.5. The trends I got here are that the Sunday night home favorites versus non-conference opponents are on an 0-5 against the spread streak. Home favorites versus non-conference opponents are 6-12-1 against the spread this season overall. Since 2018, Sunday night home favorites are 3-8-1 against the spread after their bye week, the 49ers having a bye week in Week 9. What do we think is going to happen here? Ace, you want to get us rolling on this one?
Yeah, as you guys know, I followed the 49ers pretty closely. Fan of that team. They have a lot going on that I like on both sides of the ball. Big fan of Shanahan and the offense he instills there. But the Chargers, that's a good team. I know that they're banged up a lot on the outside, but Eckler and Herbert, they get their dues. I mean, they beat a tough Falcons team last week without their kicker too, which is pretty important, especially in these close games. But yeah, I like the 49ers here. 7 points is a lot by a Jimmy Garoppolo-led offense. I do really like a McCaffrey touchdown. I mean, the last game we saw them play, he had 3. He's the man. Christian McCaffrey's going to get fed. Any running back gets fed on that offense, especially a good one. So I'm definitely going to like that. I really do like the 49ers. I don't think I'll play on -7, though. That's a lot of points, especially against Herbert, who's one of the best young quarterbacks in the league. What are you guys thinking there?
I can't get a grip on this Chargers team. They're just so injured, and I don't know what team's going to come out there. I'm convinced Justin Herbert's playing with broken ribs right now as well. So, a lot to take in from that team. You never really know what you're going to get. Keenan Allen's been questionable every single week and sits out every single week. So, he'll probably not be available again this week. This Niners team has just gotten better, obviously, since adding Christian McCaffrey. They have so many threats on that offense, and Jimmy Garoppolo just works perfect with them. And obviously, we know what they can do on the defensive side of the ball. In my opinion, this is a top 5 team in the league, and I think they're going to be right there contending for a Super Bowl at the end of the year. But I don't know. It's a primetime game, 7-point spread is kind of high. I don't know. I kind of like the Chargers to cover here, but pending some injuries, we'll see. We'll see how the line moves, and we'll see what kind of injuries take place and who's playing and who's not. So right now, I'll take Chargers +7.
That's exactly how I feel in this game. I've gone back and forth on it so many times just because the 49ers are such a wagon lately since adding McCaffrey, all the weapons that they have on offense. But still Jimmy G running the team. But, I mean, my opinion on him hasn't changed. He's been able to get the job done, so not too much of a knock to him. But they have the weapons around him, obviously, to score the points. -7 on Sunday Night Football I don't love is the reason that I'm not jumping at 49ers -7. Right now I'm leaning on the Chargers +7. I think Herbert, Eckler are able to get the job done, but Mac, you alluded to my point. I'm going to wait and see what happens with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. One of my fantasy teams, I have both of them on the same team, and right now it's absolutely fucking me. So hoping maybe one of them can play, give Herbert someone to throw the ball to, but obviously, he's been a beast all throughout the season, so I think Herbert and Eckler are able to keep this thing close in the prime time. But 49ers at home are such a wagon. I've been so back and forth on this one, so this is definitely going to be one of the ones you're going to want to wait and see where I go on Sunday night.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a prop Sunday Night Football game for me. You'll see that. I don't think I'm leaning. It's just, like I said, Huff, 7 points in a prime time is so hard to get. And the Chargers are a good team.
I hate anything more than like -3.5 in a primetime game.
Yeah, agreed. It's a one score, but so many weapons. I do think they could do it. If it's a 1 o'clock game, I would consider it. Maybe I'd tease it with like an under here. I think I could see the Chargers getting shut down by that elite defense. I think that the 49ers are going to score points. I know it's Garoppolo, but with McCaffrey and Debo and Ayuk and Kittle, and I think Debo's back this week, right? Supposed to be.
Yeah, I think he is.
Even without him, but like if he is, that's even more so. The reason. But yeah, it'll be a good game to watch. I'm excited to see what Chargers team shows up.
I agree with you, Ace. I think it's going to be a good game to watch. Lots to look forward to in that Sunday night primetime game. Let's move forward to our final game, the Monday primetime game, the Washington Commanders at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles coming in at our highest spread this week at 10.5 points. Their money line at -510, and the total sitting at 43.5. The trends I got here are, since 2007, the double-digit home favorite in the NFC East matchups are 4-8-1 against the spread. As well as Philadelphia is 5-0 straight up in its last 5. So doing well recently. But what do we think is going to happen in this primetime game? Over under 43.5. Mackie, you want to get us going here?
Yeah, I absolutely love Washington here, +11. I think in divisional game, this division is known for just knowing each other and finding ways to get wins when you're not supposed to. And Washington with Heineke, I really think they have a chance to even. I would even sprinkle the money line a little bit here. A lot of people were saying last week was the trap game with the Eagles and how they might lose to the Texans, but this is the actual game that I think that they have a chance of losing. It's the divisional game. These teams have already seen each other. I think I'm 99% sure this is their second game of the year, and it's just like this Heineke ran offense looks a little bit better than Wentz, and I just think it's a situation where the Eagles can lose this game at home, and I really like the 11 points. I think this is a close game down to the wire, and I think Washington can even get out to a little bit of a lead in the first half and make the Eagles scramble and have to come back and maybe get a win by the skin of their teeth, but I really like Washington in this game. I really like them plus 11 points.
I had the same thought, Mackie. If they were to lose a game, it would make sense in a primetime divisional game, right? But I don't think they get it done. I like Heineke too, but that's just a lot. 11 points is crazy though in a primetime game. Don't know if I'm gonna be taking that. I do think that the Eagles could stomp them too. It's a tough spot. Just a lot of points in the primetime on back-to-back nights. Huff, you got a read on this, or you're probably going with the dog in the divisional game now?
See, that's what's tough is I don't know. I just don't know. This Commanders team they've been playing good the past couple of weeks, and obviously you see an 11-point underdog in a Monday Night Football game. But the Eagles at home, they've looked unstoppable. Last week they had a 14-point spread in Houston. Houston ended up obviously covering that one, but I don't know. This is the kind of game where if you like Philly, where I think I do, I'm going to wait and see, kind of like what Mackie said. I think we could see a situation where the Commanders come out quick, maybe get up 3-0, 7-0, maybe be able to live bet the Eagles at take away some of those points, maybe a -7, -7.5. You not necessarily have to get that 11. That's just a weird number to take a favorite on. But I don't know. I think the Eagles are able to get the job done here. I do see your take on the Commanders, but I'll be looking maybe like a first half. I like the Eagles team total also to go over. But I don't know. This is a tough game for me. I don't know. I could go either way on this one, but these primetime games, obviously next Monday, it's tough to say right now. But Mackie, I do know what you mean about if they could lose a game, it could be against the Commanders in a divisional game, primetime, huge spread. You said the thing last week about the Texans. I don't know. 11 points is tough. I don't know. I think I like the Eagles.
This is their second meeting of the year, by the way.
What was the score last time?
24-8.
So they covered if this was a spread. And that was in Washington.
It was in Washington. It was probably like 6 points.
Ooh, I just thought of a play. I said this a few weeks ago with the Dolphins and the Patriots, but I like the 49ers and the Eagles in a teaser. On a Sunday night, Monday night tease. What do you guys think about that?
What are the lines?
When I look at teasers, I like to up the plus. I don't really like to lower the minus. Just because you see way more teams up. I don't know.
I like the Chargers in the first place, so I'd be more interested in how many points I could get the Chargers at.
14, right?
Chargers are +7 and Eagles -10.5.
See, I like the Eagles there.
So if you can get Washington plus 18 and Chargers plus 14.
I'd rather go 49ers Eagles.
Well, that's the point of a teaser. I don't know. I feel like that's the one rule of a teaser is you always raise the points. You never lower the
you take the big amount. No, I feel that. But I feel like the Eagles could slap the Commanders, though, no?
I definitely don't think so. Not twice in 1 year, especially not in a primetime game. I don't see this game getting out of hand. No way.
Haven't the Eagles popped in primetime games so far?
I don't know. They played primetime Kirk Cousins, so I wouldn't really count that as much of a...
I would say Taylor Heineke is equivalent to a primetime Kirk Cousins.
No, I'd give Taylor Heineke ahead of a primetime Kirk Cousins.
You think Taylor Heineke's better than Carson Wentz, though?
Yeah, definitely. Have you watched this team at all in the past few weeks? They're 10 times better than what they were with Carson Wentz.
Interesting take. That's a tough call. I think they're both okay. But yeah, I might be looking at the tease Sunday night, Monday night. I think the Eagles keep rolling here this week. But if there ever was a week that they get stumped, let's see.
Could be an interesting play there, Ace. I'm excited to see what you cook up, as well as to see what we all cook up this week. Cards to be released just hours before kickoff, so make sure you're following on all social medias, as we're excited to release those plays each and every day. That's all I got, I think, this week in the NFL. Anything else, boys?
That's just about it. Another week in the books. Stay tuned Thursday night, Sunday all day, and we got Monday night as well. So, plays for you each for each slate. And just Bear with us here.
Patriots can't go get a loss on this bye week, so I'm pretty happy. And I think some of these games are going to be a lot more exciting than we think, to be honest. So it'd definitely be a good one for sure. Maybe turn the tides of someone's season. Maybe close the books on some's also.
Yeah, I think like you said, I think it's gonna be a better week than we expected. Obviously, it's tough to say. Like we always say, we record on Wednesdays, so some of these lines are pretty tough to call. But I think we'll have a pretty good slate on Sunday. But tomorrow night's pretty tough to say. We have obviously Panthers Falcons. So, but yeah, like you said, make sure you're subscribed wherever you're listening at. Like us, whatever on all social medias. Follow, the whole 9 yards, all that. But thanks for listening. It's going to do it for me, and we'll see you guys next week.
And that's going to do it for us this week on Hit the Books podcast. Thank you for all the support week in and week out. Please be sure to share and check out our various social media platforms and check out our website. All the info is located in our link tree in the description below. And always remember to hit the books.